A Texan walks into a pub in Ireland and clears his voice to the crowd of drinkers. Did you hear the one about the Irishman who saw a sign that said "Drink Canada Dry" and was never heard from again? When delivering this verbally, it must be spoken as one single rapid sentence. This is good. 1.25 gallons, or 2.5 gallons in 1 hour. I can believe the amount. Wade Boggs, American baseball player, is rumored to have drank 107 beers in a day, and like 70 beers on a cross-country flight. But those were over longer periods of time. Very good. The funny part is I'm part Irish and I could probably do 10 pints back to back. I've done 5 pints in 30 seconds before, so 10 back to back wouldn't be a stretch. Might burp a lot though, lol. The carbonation and the aftertaste hit far more than the actual alcohol content. I don't get it. A drug addict stumbles upon a magic lamp. I hate to admit that I know this, but you don't trip for hours by doing a line of coke. You're babbling excitedly for like 20 minutes. Perhaps a rewording would make the joke. It's great how on Reddit someone will see a comment and think, well, someone already said what I was going to say, so there's no point for me to comment the exact same thing. Ha. Genie Coke, tell me you've never done cocaine without telling me you've never done cocaine. Trip balls for 4 hours on a couple lines? I want whatever they're having. Wait until I'll try as LSD or mushrooms for the first time. They snort, and trip for the next 2. Have no idea what it's like to do coke. Huh? I sure wish I could trip on cocaine. It sounds amazing, but my dog won't let me. Tripping for hours would be a sugar cube of LSD, not cocaine. This is highbrow humor. Fired from my juice canning job. Got the squeeze. You'll have to go on the dole. Well, that's just great. Orange, you glad you have a side hustle? I retired from my job at the donut store. A juicy tidbit. I quit my crushing job. It was so depressing. You were canned. You can't can. And to top it off, you hadn't even had your fill. I bet you're crushed. Don't sweat it. Kinda hard to concentrate when your co-workers' penny nipples are showing. That's funny. Up. Pithed myself laughing. I tell you to move into the company's recycling department, but it's so depressing when life hands you lemons. Oh wait. Hi, we're Hannah and Xiong from the University of Bath. We create new materials and devices to support sustainable healthcare. Our passions include microneedles, tiny painless needles, electrospinning, mechanical energy harvesters, 3D printing. Ask us anything. What determines if something is medical grade and what kind of processes are needed to determine a 3D printer can consistently achieve it? Are there any implications for the tattoo industry with microneedles? Hi Hannah and Xiong. Wow, I didn't realize you could 3D print medical equipment. How expensive is to print medical equipment? Could it be something we do from our own homes one day? How small are microneedles? Elizabeth Holmes went to jail for promising needle-free blood drawing. How likely is that capability? What was the deciding factor in your choosing the University of Bath over the University of Shower? How did you almost die? Had friends over playing video games. A pipe burst and gas was pouring into the house, but we couldn't smell it downstairs. My dad noticed and got us all out of the house. Fire chief got there and took a reading, and level was so high he forbade anyone from going in. He said it's a good thing no one rang the doorbell because they can cause a spark which would have ignited everything. We had pizza on the way. Delivery guy showed up 5 minutes after fire department. How would you react if World War III starts? Worried. But what can I do about it? I'd write a letter to Valve to show them that 3 can happen. Worried, but rent is still due. Go down to the pub, order a pint, and wait for it all to blow over. First off, I'd return my library books. I don't want that on my conscience in the post-apocalyptic future. I would watch the high-quality memes we would see on internet. I would say well shit and hope that they don't use nukes. All in on Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon stocks. I guess there's not much a civilian can do. If a country decides to bomb your village, city, town to annihilation and they have the power to do so, I guess the best you could hope for is for instantaneous death. The one which doesn't come with a lot of suffering. Keep doing what I do. Unless ground war comes to the middle of the US, I got bills to pay and my job isn't going to disappear. I got arrested for doing 1,000 sit-ups in my own house. No bail for you, likely to abscond. That's hardcore. The cops were less understanding than I might have imagined. Sad you can't even have a six-pack in your own home anymore. Sounds like you're in a crunch. Possession of K. Imagine when they see leg day. 1,000? That's a grand achievement. Yeah, well, better than getting arrested for squatting. Sounds like a sit-up. You must try to absolve them. I must abstain from commenting. You're really crunched for time now. Proclaim your innocence. Tell him didn't do squat. Jesus, hope you weren't tempted to bring out your guns. That's definitely an abnormal activity. Jada Pinkett is famous for emasculating Will Smith more than anything else she's done in her career. Aside from being Will Smith's wife, I only know her from her association with Tupac. She was pretty good in Guy Jane. Depends on how old you are or how much social media entertainment news you consume. She ruined her kids. Does that count? Hey man, she was in. I think she was in Gotham. Does that count? She seems unpleasant. That's not good. Every role is her being a version of quietly powerful, which I suppose is great in your real life, but in film it's boring as fuck. Honestly, I think this is a carefully designed image rehabilitation scheme. I mean, all of a sudden Will Smith is experiencing a certain uptick of sympathy. Maybe sympathy is too strong a word, but people are hating him a bit less. Seems convenient. Keep my wife's name out of your dollar ring mouth. Movies sure like to downplay how disgusting sewers are. Most sewers in movies are probably just storm drain tunnels, rather than actual sewage tunnels. Enough people still call them sewers to make this plausible. Don't you know that the Ninja Turtles come from the sewer? Sewers at that point can never be disgusting, but rather, places that spring up justice to the world. Had a relative who fell into a waste treatment van. They almost died. It was that bad. Sure, it's a concentration of what's typically in the sewer, but the reality is it's a horrible place to be with countless diseases and such that could kill you. And they are all big enough to stand up in. They also all have a broken doll floating around. The same way many movies over-exaggerate the size of air ducts vents. Rich people aren't necessarily smarter, they just have the luxury of taking more chances and making more mistakes without penalties. Exactly. The ability to fail often several times without losing your home makes a huge difference. So I don't necessarily deserve to be called dumb and lazy for struggling financially? That seems fair and reasonable actually. I say we all agree on this take and push it forward. Not everybody thinks they are smarter. So many reasons, chance being one of them, that it happened. Don't forget luck in a previous generation. So you're saying they make more mistakes, learn from them, and don't get any smarter. Both the luxury to take more chances, and the luxury swing bigger. If you need your business to pay your mortgage, you will always take the safe route to grow it. If you can afford to YOLO, you can go all in and e.g. acquire a competitor or release a product that may not be ready in order to be first to market. Till 30 of new heroin users are addicted within 12 months. I would have expected far more. Only 30? I expected a much shorter timeline. Okay, I'll just do it for 11 months. Is that high? I have zero frame of reference. Read this Redditor's post history. It's insane how easy it is to get addicted. Sackler family hold my beer. Till over 50 of heroin users started on prescription opioids. You get 11 months to change your mind with heroin? You only get 3 days to change your mind with a mortgage. Figured it would be higher. I would also like to see the difference in rates between the ways people use. I'm sure it's way higher in people that are banging it versus someone snorting it. When I was a teen, 100 years ago, we were told, one shot, you're addicted. Never found any reason to question that one. Till stone gambling is a thing in China, where you buy uncut jadeite stones from vendors to cut open to see if there is high-quality jadeite. It experienced a resurgence recently due to live streaming where streamers record themselves cutting open jadeite they bought, reigniting the craze. There used to be stands at all the tourist trap places in Hawaii and on the west coast that did you pick an oyster and you would get the pearls from. Main source of income was also selling you a cheap gold setting after you discovered your farmed pearl. The original loot boxes. I got to know about it from Chinese urban cultivation novels. It is a regular fixture in that genre. In Genshin Impact, which is a Chinese game, this is part both of a quest and a random daily activity that can happen in the area of the game which corresponds to fantasy China. I didn't know it was inspired so clearly by a real phenomenon. Neat. Much better than normal unboxing videos. Still beats NFT. Till that Robbie Williams covered She's the One without the original artist's permission, and deliberately angers him further by claiming to have written it when introducing the song Live. And you didn't put the artist's name in the post title, adding fuel to the fire. When the song became a hit, and after having experienced a near-fatal brain aneurysm around the time of the song's release, Wallinger stated that he experienced ongoing bitterness, going on to say that the song had a much better time than me, popping off to the Brits while I was at home eating crackers dipped in water. I'm shocked that World Party have another popular song. They were a big one-hit wonder here in Australia, with Ship of Fools getting to number 4 on the charts and still getting played on the radio today. It's got a great sing-along chorus. Till that in the 80s the president of Zaire built a 3,200-meter landing strip in the jungle next to his palace so he could charter Concorde flights to Paris. Some of these post-colonial African leaders are like something out of a Bond film with how comically corrupt and evil they are. I feel I just took a listen to the Congo River episode on Short History of. This was one of many Till facts that blew my hair back while listening myself. That's a lot of bush. Can you believe this, Chad? Not gonna fly commercial when you're the president, not with that far Togo. And if that plane is Moroccan then don't bother knockin'. Mozambique. A true man of the people. How do they do? Wait. The rules for rulers. I'm pissed I never got to fly on a Concorde. Same. Concorde. I never knew his full name title. I've always just heard Mobutu Sese Seko, which is easy to remember because it rhymes with Jose Canseco. Still, that when Thomas Jefferson was in the White House he kept a flock of sheep on the White House lawn and one of them killed a small child. Central Park in NYC had flocks of sheep for grass management as recently as the early 20th century. Several unsuspecting pedestrians tried to take a shortcut across the square, met the Shetland ram, and were vanquished in their encounter. I mean, it sucks that the kid got killed, but try cutting across the White House lawn now and you might get vanquished by a Secret Service agent. Till that a sheep killed a person, I didn't know they could do that. I don't know how I expected that sentence to end, but that definitely wasn't it. Flock around and find out. Till the water speed record hasn't been broken in over 45 years. It's too dangerous to try. Even just to make this record multiple people died. Geez, one dude was at the bottom of the lake for 30 years before they found in 1980 was forced by financial backers to change location to somewhere more accessible to spectators. Then he backed out but felt bad so died doing a test run. Very fucked up. Here is a great short documentary on YouTube about the history of the water speed record and why his remains unbroken. Foil technologies may change this. It already was the cause for the sailing speed record to be smashed. That's because any faster and it becomes an airspeed record. Want to hear a joke about my penis? Want to hear a joke about a mind? You won't get it. More like the punchline's too short. Ha! Get a load of this guy. Not as hard as you think it is. Well, that was short-lived. It's definitely a small and short joke though. Must be a members-only joke. You have some balls telling that, to be honest. That was just flaccid and tedious. Don't forget tedious. Nah. It's a short joke. A joke about a joke. This is such a meta punchline. Just get to the point. Shortest joke I've ever heard. What a cock-up. Like a spaghetti noodle. That's what she said. The rumors of your size are just a phallus. Why? Shortest joke ever. Awful. What is an addiction people have, but don't know about? External validation. Toxic relationships. People get hooked on the obscene level of drama, and they think that makes it somehow more real than other people's healthy relationships. Social media, doom scrolling, mobile screen addiction, sugar, procrastination. Making lists of things you should do and avoiding tasks. It's oddly and seductively comforting. Escapism as a whole. Daydreaming, social media, movies, video games, virtually anything that makes you not aware of your current physical surroundings. News addiction, caffeine, the total quality of their NPR radio station in the car. Skin picking, come back and check one more time, did you close the door or not? Are hooked on it, and will aggressively defend their addiction to it too. Sometimes it even ruins people's personal relationships. What is one thing that you flat out just don't know how people afford? Women who keep up with nails, lash extensions, Botox, etc. That shit is expensive as fuck. First class airfare, it's just so overwhelmingly expensive in comparison to regular seats. I can't imagine anyone ever having that amount to spare unless you're incredibly wealthy. A boat or RV or both. I can barely afford to exist, much less spend all this money on recreation. Multiple family foreign holidays per year. Secret hidden families. I can barely afford one. Modern day house prices. 600k used to buy you a serious mansion. Now it's an average family home. I make a good income, my girlfriend also has a normal average income. Yet we can barely afford an averagely priced house these days. New pickups by people who don't use them as pickup. $60,000 for a transportation appliance used just to commute? What song breaks your heart every time you listen to it? Lord Huron. The Night We Met. Ain't No Sunshine, Bill Withers. I went to a wedding where I didn't know the groom, so I didn't think I would cry at it. Then they played You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan for the mother-son dance and I started crying. Seems like a good thread to make a depressing playlist from. Alice in Chains Nutshell. The Night We Met. Old Man Neil Young, Rainbow Connection. Yes, a song sung by a Muppet makes me cry every time. Desperado by the Eagles, no matter where or when I hear it. Cats in the Cradle by Harry, a now 18-year-old boy. The parallels of that song to life is equally inspiring, dreadful and heartbreaking. Landslide, Fleetwood Mac. Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. You're My. Look up the lyrics. Hear You Me, Jimmy Eat World. I lost a friend in a horrific car accident when he was only 18 and just cannot do that song anymore. When you count your lips, don't touch till a million. I get there before 2.1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. There's only 3 English letters B, M, P that make you touch your lips. So not really too strange. Oof. Punctuation needed. Personally, I'm male, so I finish it too. This is the kind of stuff I follow this subreddit for. Not if you do it in your head with your mouth closed. The Tootsie Pop Owl would like a word. Reading this title gave me an aneurysm. I'm at 56. BRB. I feel like that might touch with the W sound in one, when you count your lips. Huh, I'm not following what you mean here? Seems like my lips touched at literally the number 1. Lol. We don't all count in English unless it is decimals and you use the word point to indicate the decimal. 1.1. 1.1. That's still counting. Which musician has the worst toxic fan base? I once commented something mildly critical of Jared Leto. I essentially said that his fat suit in House of Gucci looked bad and I was getting weirdly vindictive replies messages about it for days on end. His fan base is fucking intense. Most K-pop groups. It wasn't fun when idols were mostly known in Asia and it certainly didn't get any better after it went international. K-pop fan base seems mad sometimes. Chris Brown. His fans constantly defend him despite him being a colossal piece of shit. As a Kiss fan, Kiss fans, the Wiggles, their fan base just acts like a bunch of children. Cannot stand Travis Scott fans. Which superhero can't you trust with your valuables? Batman and Robin. Iron Man. Wonder Woman. She likes shiny things. Flash. Nothing funny about it. You have no idea what he has touched or what he has done with your things. Hulk. Fat Man and Blobbin. Batman and Robin. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Paraplegic Spider-Man. Can he walk? Over there? No, he can't. He's in a chair. Look out, he cannot feel his legs right when you need that man. Just take him by the hand. He will drag you though. The sand paraplegic Spider-Man. MCU Drax. Because he takes things, literally. Black Panther. Everyone from The Boys and Gen V. Spider-Man. Flash. You wouldn't even know it. Daredevil. Doesn't know what they look like. If Henry Cavill gets Iron Man's power, Man of Iron, the Flash, he will be that quick wouldn't even know it's gone. Which superhero is not allowed near children? Neither is the actor, because he drives too fast, right? Right? What superheroes aren't allowed near rich people? Man of Steel and Robin. 700W. The Gay Ghost. Hal Jordan. If you know you know. Batman lol, because he streaks. Date. Hancock. Pedo Man.